What's up, guys and girls? Happy Tuesday, August 31st, 2021. Man, oh man, what a day. What a day. Somebody is going to win $1 million playing MLB DFS tonight on DraftKings. That's freaking incredible. Hopefully it's one of you guys, right? Hopefully somebody out there gets himself a pair of commas in their winning. So I'm excited for that. I would definitely be tracking that all night, trying to see what comes to the top on a 14 game slate over there on DraftKings. So good luck to everyone in that. Today is Tuesday, August 31st, 2021. There's 14 games on the DK docket, one 7-inning game. Hopefully you guys made it out alive last night. German Marquez does not care about my DFS lineups. He was that dude. Otherwise, Robbie Ray, Vladdy Jr. was on the Alexi kid from Texas. For the most part, I didn't feel cheated offensively, but I had a big stake in German Marquez, who was a mistake. Oh boy, that's back-to-back starts where he should have roasted some soft matchups. He was in the Cubs, the Rangers, and in turn he actually got roasted. So, oh well, what can you do? Next day, next dollar. Let's go. What happened last night? Anything crazy? Robbie Ray did his thing. Corbin Burns maybe outperformed a lot of people's expectations against the Giants. Trevor Story hit a pair of bombs. The Phillies got to Josiah Gray. Mentioned Gray, big strikeout numbers, but he does give up bombs if he's not striking people out. Mountcastle was the guy to get to Robbie Ray, but that was about it. I actually saw a big brain lineup in a big dollar contest last night that had Robbie Ray and just Mountcastle as an Oriole. I was like, wow, that's some crazy. That's some crazy play. Alexi, we researched into him, 4,720 DKP. Robbie Ray, Alexi, you put those two together, man, you can build whatever you want. You can go get Vladdy Jr. and have some fun. And my best lineups were that exact trifecta. So hopefully you guys did all right last night. I am looking forward to tonight. Like I said, plenty of games to maneuver, plenty of pitching options. We've got decent guys at the top end, some Walker Buehlers, Lance McCullers, Woodruff, Morton, couple guys in the middle end that are intriguing, and then we have a couple of uncertainties. Johnny Cueto was late scratched last night because of COVID concerns. Looks like he doesn't have COVID, but he still had flu-like ailments last night. But they said if he feels good, he could pitch today. I still didn't see word on that, so we'll see if something comes out. We do got Boston pulling out an opener and long reliever situation against the creator, Kevin Cash. So that's kind of a monkey wrench into. And I don't think anybody was going to pitch Garrett Richards, but it perhaps could create a unique lineup from the Rays, since the opener is a lefty and the projected relievers are righty. But yeah, we're gonna go game by game, and hopefully you guys can pull away some nuggets. If you've already done a little bit of research, you know the drill. Drop it in chat as we go game by game. More of a group sesh than a me sesh. What's up, chat? Jim Steele, Jonathan Adams, Rich Homie Quinn. Me and more. I'm 100% missing this one today. I have a great stream. Okay. Marquez was not what you want yesterday. But man, the matchup was the matchup, and in baseball, gotta play the matchups. And the Rangers just did what they did. And then last night, tough day to be a Yankee fan. Corey Kluber, Andrew Heaney, both falling flat. Kluber is not looking super sharp. Before the sticky stuff scandal, he wasn't super sharp as it was. He just had that no-hitter against the Rangers, the team that Marquez got whooped by. Chat, we're gonna try to make this one as fast and efficient as possible to squeeze in all of the games in here. So we're gonna go game by game. I think we're ready to go. I made a second sweep through the spreadsheet a minute ago. There wasn't a ton of lineups out yet. I think like there was one team out. So anyway, Phillies at the Nationals. Let's get it going. Matt Moore taking on Patrick Corbin. Pair of southpaws going at it. We've got a 4.7 implied run total for the Phillies, 4.9 for the Nationals. So Matt Moore is definitely a guy that we want to look to pick on. Usually anytime he rears his head on a slate. If you look at his metrics on the season, 4.31 against lefties, 5.27 xFIP against righties, a 2.15 home run per nine to righties this season, and a 1.45 home run per nine to lefties. Definitely would sniff out guys like Soto, Ryan Zimmerman, Lane Thomas, who have so far all exhibited a 200 plus ISO against lefties. Lane Thomas is really, really cheap. We've even seen Lane Thomas lead off, so look out for that to still be a possibility. Kyber Ruiz, a prospect, got his first taste of some big league action yesterday. If you guys aren't familiar with Ruiz, we'll take a quick look at his minor league card. So far in the minors this season, he's been batting .310 overall, 993 OPS, 21 bombs, and 284 at bats. Yesterday he went 1 for 4. I think he's definitely somebody that the average player may not be familiar with, and I think we can put him in the mix as somebody we can get behind against lefties this season in the minors. Batting .321, had 1 homer in 78 at bats, so that's not a big number there, but still batting for a good average and soft OPS. But I think against Matt Moore, we can kind of increase the expectation here. And we know Ryan Zimmerman's been a perennial lefty masher as somebody that could be in the thick of it. Full stack in Nationals? Anybody? Possibly. Just about a 5 implied run total. I definitely would have them in the mix, but I'd be really, really interested in this lane of Soto, Zimmerman, Lane Thomas, and Kyber Ruiz. I think Keyboom sent one over the wall last night, so maybe look his way if you really wanted to stretch out, fill out a 5-man stack. But that's the core of the Nats that I would be interested in today. Juan Soto, 6K. I don't think fitting in 6K bats is going to be too much of an issue. You might get into trouble if you try to fit in like 3 of them, but there's going to be plenty of 2K specials today, so we can get there pretty easily. On the Philly side, going against Patrick Corbin. Corbin has been extreme splits this year. So very serviceable against lefties, a 0.56 home run per nine, 52% ground ball rate, a 3.29 xFIP. But against righties, it gets weird, mama. 4.63 xFIP, a 290 average, a 2.5 home run per nine. So you can easily go focus on guys like Andrew McCutchen. Jorge Bonifacio, I don't feel like great for power, but he does bat over 300 against the lefties. Gene Segura might jump on a first pitch. He's got a heavy ISO against the lefties. Real Muto could be batting as high as second. That's what the projected lineup has him as. And Harper's Harper. He's a professional hitter, so if he got a 2-1, I'm not surprised there. I think Andrew McCutchen is going to be one of the names that gives me a high grade in the bomb detector just every day, and I'm almost at the slot machine on that. But he's definitely somebody that has been crushing lefties for a while, and this year that has by far been his best split. Looking at the bomb detector, getting a quick resort here. None of these lineups are confirmed, but McCutchen is about top 6, top 7, and to kind of put in perspective his body of work this season against lefties, I think we've covered this I think it might have been on the Osmo stream, but I know I've covered this recently on a show. But if you look at this season against lefties, it's really been his best split, and it's almost not even close. A 3.06 batting average to lefties this year versus a 1.73 average to righties, but 12 homers against lefties and 134 at-bats. That's what you want. At triple, 6 doubles. He's definitely somebody that I think could make plenty of my lineups, but absolutely be a fixture in Philly stacks, and could be batting as high as cleanup here. So 1 through 4 could be really, really fun here for the Phillies as a overall stack. I think it goes without saying I'm not too curious or interested in either pitcher as an option for me today. Just feel like I'd be holding my breath way too much on a Corbin. Definitely not interested in Matt Moore. And that's all I got to say about that. What up, damn Ron? Marquez killed. Oh, yeah, that's Jim. Oh, Jim, I like your avatar. I have one just like it. Blue Jays hosting the Orioles. Next game on the docket. Keegan Aiken taking on Hunyin Ryu. What's up, dang lazy mofo? Hunyin Ryu offense has a 6.2 implied run total. The Orioles just at 3.5. I think yesterday we saw the home team Blue Jays look a little bit better when they were trendy, and today they've only got one player, and that's Vladdy Jr. at over a $6K price point. George Springer, Semien, Vladdy Jr., Bo Bichette, Teoscar Hernandez, Randall Grichuk, they all really stand out against an average lefty that has really bad splits to righties. So far this season, Aiken a 5.52 xFIP, 17% K rate to righties, a 3.16 batting average allowed to righties. I feel like there's a Stone Cold joke in there. A 1.6 home run per 9. And on the road, it doesn't get better. You would think outside of Camden it would get better. That's not really the case. A 2.25 home run per 9 on the road. So the Blue Jays definitely profiles one of the most sought after stacks for me pre-flop. Maybe after I digest and see what ownership projections are on stacks. Maybe that'll change. But it's hard not to really gravitate towards the Blue Jays in this matchup against Aiken, backed up by the Balticore's bullpen. It's a really good spot for them. So I'm in on the Blue Jays quite aggressively. Hunyin Ryu, I guess, would be an interesting click. I haven't really been playing Ryu a ton this season, but the Blue Jays are a soft enough matchup that at the right price, I could maybe throw them in the back end of my pool. 8,600. Really with any pitcher, you guys know my drill. I'm looking for 20 plus. Ryu has 3 starts against the Orioles, averaging just under 20. So, that likely means there's been games where he's been over 20. So I wouldn't hate it. 23 in a 10-2 victory on July 7th. So I wouldn't hate a shot at Ryu, but it's not a warm and fuzzy click. So for me, it'd probably be the back end of a mass entry pitcher portfolio, and that's where I would put Ryu. I'm not touching Keegan Aiken. If we wanted to pick on Ryu, there's really not a hole in his game metrically. I guess this year he's allowed a little bit more home runs to righties, but batted ball data doesn't suggest that that's like anything but a coincidence. Maybe his previous 2 home parks are at fault here, but the batted ball data this last 3 years, almost a 50% ground ball rate to righties. The hard contact's really low, so I'm not even banking on him to continue to allow over a home run per 9. If I was looking to pick on him just with a talented Orioles bat against the lefty, Mountcastle, Mancini, Santander, those are guys that kind of stick out, but I'm really not super interested in the Orioles today. Really low implied run total. Let's get caught up on chat. What's up, chat? A couple of you guys rolling in. Welcome. CEH, what's up, buddy? Jonathan Adams lineups coming out now. Yeah, they're starting to drop. So if lineups for games I haven't covered yet come out, I'll get those in before we do chop it up, and then at the end of the roundup, we'll go back and plug them in. What's up, R. Stanley? What's up, Ducksworth? Alexi, he did his thing. German Marquez, not so much, but that's baseball. That is baseball. Let's move on to the Mets. This game is weird because this is going to be a 7-inning game because right now they're playing or finishing a suspended game. I'm pretty sure I just saw like Jonathan VR homered. So in this game, it's going to be exclusive to DraftKings, and it will not be featured on the Fanduel main slate. So you Fanduel players, go to the bathroom. I don't know. Edward Cabrera, 6,400 on DraftKings. Trevor Williams, 6,600. Cabrera was a highly touted or highly sought after or highly regarded prospect. If you guys play MLB The Show, he is a glitch. But in real life, when he came out in his Washington Nationals starts, he went 6.1 innings, only 2 strikeouts for 7.5 fantasy points. Now, I think that the average player will not have much to go off of and probably not be too enamored with his results. But I gotta be honest, I think I'm gonna be a little bit more forgiving on this stat line because I do think Cabrera projects really, really well. So if that sours the field on him, I think I'll go back to him. And I'm not saying give up a ton of equity here on Cabrera, but a 7-inning game, like I think I will get to some of it because I expect him to be a far better pitcher than those numbers. And the Mets offense is hit or miss here. So to kind of show you what I'm talking about, this season in the minors, a 2.93 ERA, 61 innings pitched, 92 strikeouts. So about 30 strikeouts more than innings pitched. So he is, when he is him, a strikeout pitcher and is at an elite level. So I'm willing to kind of forgive what we saw in Game 1 in terms of results and kind of keep buying into him as he starts growing as a major league pitcher. Maybe just out of curiosity, go look at the advanced metrics of that start. Sometimes you see where a pitcher still gets swinging strikes, but he just doesn't cash in on the strikeouts. So I don't know, just out of curiosity, see if that's what happened to Cabrera here. So I'm going to go to, I guess it would just be, since it's a 1-game sample size, we don't need to. He had just a 5% swinging strike rate that game, so 17.9% called strike rate. So yeah, I think I'd play him and kind of hope for progression on those numbers to look a little bit more like his minor league numbers. Maybe those butterflies got to him. Heavy barrel ball rate on the batted balls that he did allow. But in the minors, let's split them up here and see if he had a home run problem. That's the majors. So when a guy gets called up, I guess I'm gonna say I don't know. Usually I can split just the minor numbers, but it's displaying the major numbers. Yeah, it's only giving me major numbers here. So I guess I'll just go look at his game log in the minors just to kind of get it done matter of factly. August 19th so yeah, it looks like he did have a couple homers allowed in the last minor league start. 3 in his last 3 starts, but 4, 6 innings, 11, 12, 6 strikeouts. So the double-digit strikeout potential is why I'm still here on Cabrera. I do think he's going to be a beast and one of the better pitchers in the league. Definitely one of the better pitchers in the Marlins system. So at 6,400, I'm going to go back and take some shots on him. I wish I could isolate his lefty splits with some convenience here while I'm live, but I don't want to like create dead air and not satisfy what I'm looking for. So maybe when I'm off the air, I'll go back and try to look at his lefty splits in the minors. But he's definitely somebody I'm not giving up on. Is the long story short. And I think at 6,400, I can see myself having up to 10%. Maybe not aggressively over, but I could probably cap him at 10% and feel like the field might not like what they saw in that Nats game. So it is what it is. Trevor Williams did your thing, dog, but it's going to be a no for me. This season, a 4.63 xFIP to lefties, 3.66 to righties. So he's been a little bit better to righties than lefties. This Marlins lineup does project to be more righty heavy. He does have a 1 and 4 strikeout rate. Maybe he surprises some people because of how bad this team is. There's a lot of strikeouts in this Marlins lineup, but it's not something that I'm feeling great about. High average, high power allowed. 6,600 on him. I guess the price point's low enough that if you throw him in an SP2 spot, this landing could be soft enough to where if he did muscle his way to like a 16 DKP, it wouldn't be the worst, right? And it could give you some money to go get some of those bigger bats, but doesn't look like we expect a lot of length out of him. He did throw 104 on July 25th. Since then, it's been a little bit more short stint appearances, so that helps me feel better about not feeling obligated to kind of get to him. So give me some Cabrera, yeah. If I wanted to pick on Trevor Williams, definitely it's with a power righty. Jesus Aguilar, I think, is the guy that would stand out to me. He definitely has stronger splits on the road than at home when it comes to power. And that's just naturally because of Marlins Park. No one else is really screaming at me to go get a piece. Jazz Chisholm to go Rojas. Rojas is probably a little too expensive, but Chisholm I can get behind. But I'm not really running to play Marlins in a 7-inning game, So just give me some Cabrera, and that's probably it. Let's get caught up on chat before we move on. Stanley only doing 3 lineups tonight. Giolito, Snell, and all. Let's go. What's up, Josh? I don't know. Are your 3 main stacks Toronto White Sox and Yankees? Oh man, you guys are like kindred DFS spirits. Love it. Anybody in chat in the Millie Maker tonight? Like literally anyone that watches, even if you're not a lurker, if you don't want to like pop your head out and chat, like hit me up on Twitter. I would love to sweat some of you guys' lineups in the Millie Maker tonight. That's just like incredible. That's such a fun contest, but it's pretty expensive. Athletics at the Tigers, next game on the docket. Tigers lineup has come out, and it's looking like Derek Hill, Jonathan Scope, Robbie Grossman, Miguel Cabrera, Eric Haas, Jamer Candelario, not Haas, in the 5 spot. Giolito Mega Chalk. What's the number that you got on that for Mega Chalk? I'm always hesitant to have high expectations on a singular guy's ownership on a 14-game slate just because it is so big. I think we've had this chalk conversation before. It's 20% in your mind mega chalk for a 14-game slate. Does it move to 50%, 60%? We have seen pitchers kind of stand out from the pack. I'm just kind of curious. You know me, I don't like to look at ownership projections until after the research is done. But yeah, Cole Irvin taking on Tariq Skubal, another pair of southpaws. Athletics on the road after splitting with the Yankees. They have an interesting projected lineup to go against Tariq Skubal. I think Skubal is a guy that does have strikeout stuff, but kind of like Josiah Gray yesterday. If he doesn't strike you out, he's got a power problem, particularly to righties. A 4.23 xFIP to righties, a 2.3 homer per 9 to righties. And this is an Athletics team that will give you some problems in terms of the strikeout. Josh Harrison, Starling Marte, Yan Gomes, potential catcher batting in the top 4, top 5, all kind of stick out to me. We've recently seen Mark Canha get demoted in the lineup. You might see Chatty Pendergrass in the lineup. I could walk away with a couple of these Athletics bats and feel like I got myself a decent deal here. So I am very curious to see what the Athletics do roll out. Starling Marte, we talked about those the high dollar, the Millie Maker today. Is this not one of the higher floor players in all of baseball? Does have a little bit of power in him, but man, is he just running at will? 2 stolen bases, 2 stolen bases, stolen base. Like he's on his Ricky Henderson grind right now, and it is a problem. He's averaging over 10 fantasy points per game, double-digit fantasy points as an average is just incredible. So I do like him. Just as a inherent one-off, but the athletic stack might be something that I put in the stack pool here. I don't think I'd go super aggressive because Skubal can be a little bit trolly. A lot of fly balls could stay in the park, something like that. But he does have a propensity to just get shelled here and give up a couple bombs, and then that bullpen can come in and keep the positive EV at bats for the A stack going. So give me a couple of those guys. What up, dang lazy mofo? Always do one lineup in the Millie. So this is not your normal Millie. This ain't the NFL Millie. This is a 2,500 entry. I'm just kind of curious to see who in the community, in our community, is putting some bullets in that, right? That Millie Maker's dope. Don't got the bankroll to risk that right now. Nah, I feel you. Especially with NFL around the corner. But yeah, it's pretty thick. Love the $20 home plate 3 max. I have 3 top 10 finishes. 3 maxes are fun. 5. I saw a 5 entry max for NFL. I haven't seen that for baseball, but that's cool as well. I know. I think Fanduel had a 5-entry max that I was really digging last year. I've been playing a little bit more DraftKings than FanDuel this year, but I'm not completely out the game on FanDuel. It just really depends on pitching that night. But I like stacking 5 minutes. It'd be really, really lazy about it. 2,500 tonight. I won't tonight. Yeah, it's definitely not something I'm encouraging people to go out there and play. I'm just curious to see who is playing it. I know a couple people in the RunDFS.com Discord have some bullets in it, you know. I'm not playing Cole Irvin, pure contact guy. Could we line up a couple of Tigers bats against Cole Irvin and feel like it's fine? Maybe. Cole Irvin, 249 average allowed to righties, 303 to lefties. It doesn't have a high home run per nine, but looking at the metrics here, I guess even on the road it's at 0.5.2. I was wondering if it was Oakland Coliseum induced, because he has just a 36% ground ball rate. Fly ball rate, line drive rate, a little bit more elevated, but the hard contact still down, closer to 30 than 40. So maybe a couple of your actual Tigers hitters. I think on FanDuel, Jonathan Scope profiles as a better value than on DraftKings. DraftKings is going to make you pay $5,300, but you get it for about $3,000 cheaper on FanDuel. So maybe if you are double dipping, you're playing both sites, Scope profiles a little bit more as a stocking stuffer over there for you versus his DK counterpart. Miggy, a 300 plus average hitter against lefties. Usually when a player's the same price on DraftKings as he is on FanDuel, I think he's a better value on DK, and that could be the case here with Miggy. Get a couple hits here against Irvin maybe, but a couple singles doesn't really move the needle much for me. I really like chasing powers, extra base hits, speed guys. And then Eric Haas. He's a guy that has absolutely crushed left-handed pitching this season. So I'm kind of torn with what to do with him. Like I said, these big power guys, especially guys like Michael Zunino, Eric Haas, Patrick Wisdom, they come with big strikeout rates, 30, 40, sometimes 50%. Like Wisdom, Eric Haas has a 30% K rate, but when he's not striking out, he's got about 16% barrel rate, a 971 OPS, a 360 ISO against lefties, and Cole Irvin's going to dare him to put the ball in play, and he's a fly ball pitcher. So even though he's not allowing a ton of hard contact, can Eric Haas compensate for that? I think he could. He does have over a 4 rating on the bomb detector, making him an interesting click. Maybe on FanDuel, he feels like a better value. But yeah, this is one of those spots where I do like neutralizing the strikeout rate with the contact rate of a guy like Cole Irvin, and Haas might continue his barrage of power against lefties. Just out of curiosity, what's the actual numbers on that? I know it's not like a major sample size because it's hard to develop a sample size against left-handed pitching with so many righties around, but just to kind of put it in perspective. What up, Earth to Air? Orioles put up 10 runs tonight. Bet. 90 at-bats against lefties so far this season. 311 batting average. 10 homers. 3 doubles. So, yeah, he hits for massive amounts of power against lefties. Not so much against righties. He still hits for power against righties, but the batting average goes down. So, yeah. No Zunino tonight. Now, I just meant that as a comparison in terms of, like, big power guy versus big strikeout numbers. And when you put him against a contact guy like Cole Irvin, that's the results that you're going to get. I think Haas could compensate for the hard contact. Red Sox at the Rays. Rays lineup is out, so we'll get that lineup entered into the RunDFS.com MLB VIP spreadsheet. Brendan Lyle leading off. Nelson Cruz, Wander Franco, Austin Meadows. I hate Austin. Randy Arozarena, Joey Wendell, Yandy Diaz, Kevin Kiermaier, and Francisco Mejia, former Padre, I want to say. Yeah, maybe. I think it was a Padre. We don't have a Red Sox lineup yet. So the Red Sox are doing some Kevin Cash style stuff. According to DraftKings, that's where we get all of our most reputable information. They are going to open the game with left-hander Austin Davis. I'm telling you, there's so many Austins in baseball. Austin Davis likely not to go more than 1, maybe 2 innings. And then it's expected that he would hand the ball off to Garrett Richards, 6,700, a righty. And he's had very, very not great results this season. So I think that eliminates any potential pitching from the Red Sox today. But it kind of gives us a weird approach when it comes to the Rays. The Rays have a 4.6 implied run total. The lineup is the lineup, and they didn't hold back on what they're going to do against the start. I guess we'll put Franco as a righty to switch hit against that starting lefty. But basically, I guess what I'm trying to say is, if we're stacking Rays today, I think we have to lean more towards the talent than the matchup, right? I do like to focus heavily on matchups when we have the matchups, but the Rays may not have 2 at-bats against the same pitcher day. Maybe they get 2 on Garrett Richards, some of them, but it could be a full-on bullpen game. So if we're on the Rays here, I think you go with the talented guys, Brandon Lyle, Nelson Cruz, Wander Franco, Austin Meadows. You guys know the drill, and we can't overexert ourselves on focusing on the splits and on the matchup here. So for stacking Rays, we're just stacking Rays. Ryan Yarbrough on the bump for the Rays. He is a little bit more stretched out. He's been, I think, serving as a starter this year versus years past where he has been an opener. Not somebody I think I'm going to get to against the Red Sox, 4 or 5 innings. Not going super deep anyway. So this is just one of those washes for me, pitching-wise. And then this stadium, Tropicana, might be enough to neutralize high interest for me. But I wouldn't be against, activating a couple of these guys in the player pool, and where they fall, right? There's still going to be some power to be had here. Yarbrough's biggest problem has been power to righties. So JD Martinez, Xander Bogaerts, Bobby Dalbec, all profile pretty decently here if they make the mix. Just a 17% K rate to righty. So Bobby Dalbec, to continue our theme of high K, high power guys, he might get that strikeout percentage neutralized by Yarbrough's 17% K rate, and then he could tap into that power problem. So definitely makes a lot of sense to look at a couple of one-offs here. I don't think I'm going to end up with any full stacks, just a couple of talented one-offs, right? Dean says, can I come on? No. Your Austin theory is definitely true. There's a lot of Austins. Most of them feel like they're catchers, but there's still just a lot of Austins. Thought Mejia was with Cleveland. Maybe it was Cleveland. I don't know why I was thinking there was a Mejia with the Padres. Maybe he was with both. Just out of curiosity. My brain. JD has good PvP. Now hold up. I'll look at it, but you know me, I don't really care about PvP. So we got San Diego and Cleveland. We're both right. Stanley. Kudos to us. We get cookies. Let's pretend we're not looking at this, but we are. So JD against Yarbrough. Ooh, it is not bad. 21 at-bats, 12 hits, 6 doubles, 2 bombs. Yeah, JD beats up lefties, right? And then Christian Vasquez has 3 bombs. Excuse me? Some good numbers historically for the Red Sox, but we don't like to harbor on the PvP. I don't know why I just sounded like Bill Cosby, but yeah, if you needed a tiebreaker to be interested in the Red Sox, there's definitely some good historical numbers here, but just metrically, I mean, JD Martinez against a lefty, yeah. Xander, like we said, Christian Vasquez feels a little bit more fluky, right? This year's bat hasn't been quite clicking, but fine. I'd be more, if I had to pick 3 Red Sox, JD Martinez, Bobby Dalbec, and probably Xander Bogaerts would be the 3 at the forefront for me. What up, Kay Johnson? You're late. Gunny, you still talking trash about Matthew? Can I join in now? No. Ben Simmons just announced he is not reporting to camp. Wow. Is he demanding a trade? Is he trying to hold out? I don't understand the context of that. Rockies at the Rangers. Next game on the docket. Austin. All right, Austin. Why is there so many Austins? Like, what happened 20 to 25 years ago I guess it was Stone Cold. I guess Stone Cold's out here, right? Connor Joe, Raimel Tapia, Trevor Story, Charlie Blackmon, CJ Crone, Ryan McMahon, Elias. Hello, I'm Elias. Garrett Hampson, Sam Hilliard. I'll have a Samuel Hilliard. I'll have one too. Austin Gomber taking on Jordan Lyles. 4.1 is your implied run total for the Rangers. 4.5 for the Rockies. Gomber, I thought I would be interested in. I'm getting a little weary of these Rangers right now. They're too dumb to know they're supposed to suck, I think. But Gomber does have potential to go out there and be a solid play. So far, his road numbers have been acceptable, not great. A 1-4 K rate, 25% K rate. The home run per 9 is ridiculous. The xFIP at 3.86. So he'll probably be in my player pool. Just to hope that there's regression coming for this Rangers offense. But I definitely will have a lot less Austin Gomber than the amount of German Marquez I had last night. I'll tell you what. Just because there is a range of outcome for a 20 plus, maybe even a 30. We saw 30 against Miami, 28 against San Diego. So definitely a back end of the pitching player pool for me. Less than 10%, probably around 6%, 7%. And maybe I go up on that, but for now, I want Gomber, but I don't want to be too invested. Jordan Lyles, you did your thing, dog, but it's going to be a no for me. 19% K rate to righties, 16% to lefties. At home, just a 15% K rate, 5.21 xFIP, a 1.76 home run per 9. CJ Crone, I think we should start taking notice of him. He's had a really strong week in and out of Coors, and I think out of Coors is the bigger picture for us today. 7, 23, 14, 14, 14, all that road stuff between Wrigley, Dodger Stadium, and then yesterday. 5,500, probably way too expensive to play for him. I mentioned this yesterday, right? How many times have we seen this Rockies team be like 70% of their prices today in Coors? I don't understand the algorithm, but I understand Jordan Lyle's bad. Get away with a couple bats against him, sure. Connor Joe, 4,600. So the Rockies are in a spot where they feel too expensive to stack the worst WRC plus road team. But Jordan Lyles is bad enough that I can get behind some bats against them. If I wanted to pick on Gomber, does allow some power to righties. Adolis Garcia is the first name that kind of sticks out to me. DJ Peters is there for me as well. I wish Andy Ibanez was in the mix, but he's down for the count. And then I'm not running to go crazy with Rangers exposure. Let's get caught up on chat. Aiden's gonna bring his LeBron picture. Man, that picture. He wants out via trade. I mean, that's fine. I don't want to start the Ben Simmons debate, but he's definitely. I've always felt like he shouldn't be a point guard. I feel like if he was a slashing power forward or something like that, I'd be more invested in him. But you can't be a point guard and not be able to have a jump shot, Triple lacrosse face. Okay. The train says regression is here for the Rangers. Let's go. Oh, that train. Okay. All right. I see what you're saying. But we got bits now. Some podcast hosts when their dog barks or something, that's the cue. But for me, it's this train that rolls through twice an hour. Anthony, what's your thoughts on? Oh my God. I haven't looked at that yet, but we'll get to that. That story backflip though. Y'all are about to get me in trouble on the old algorithm here. Where are we at on views? 50 plus of you guys got jokes. You guys got jokes. It's gonna have a good debut, then go. God dang it! Oh boy, there's no holding me back. I'm not driven by ERA. I'm just driven by Sierra. And you're under. Okay, that was better than it was. Chat, this is not okay. We shouldn't be doing this. Royals do have a confirmed lineup out. Whit Merrifield, Nicky Lopez, Salvador Perez, Carlos Santana, Andrew Benintendi, Michael A. Taylor, Edward Olivares, Hunter Dozier, and Emmanuel Rivera. Royals have an implied run total of 4.7. The Indians, 4.4. Zach Plesac taking on Jacob Junis. Twice an hour for how long, bro? Every hour. I'm not. I one day maybe I can make one of those YouTube shorts and show you guys like this. The train tracks are almost literally in my parking lot. Maybe that's why I have such cheap rent. But like I could see the train through my kitchen window, and it's visible. So, it happens a lot. But you get used to it. I don't know if I've lived by train tracks before, never this close. But it's like I'm sure some of you guys maybe live by an airport or something, or I don't know. Like you get used to it, or some of you guys have a smoke detector and you don't change the battery and it beeps, and then you get on your headset, play Call of Duty. They're like, "Yo, who's got the beeping?" And you're like, "It ain't me, but it's you. We know it's you." You just kind of get used to it. So I get used to the trains, and sometimes you don't even notice it. Plesac, a 5.4 xFIP on the road, 14% K rate, 178 home run per nine versus Jacob Junis. This just got announced. I had seen some sites list Mike Minor earlier. So Junis has been, so far this season, serviceable against righties. But historically, he's not been a lockdown pitcher to either side of the plate. And against the Indians, they'll have a couple of mixed bats, right? A couple lefties, a switchy. So he'll definitely have his troubles split wise. But is Junis somebody that had been coming out of the bullpen? It looks like it. So I think that's the explanation for a jump in K percentage to righties. So when you come out the bullpen, you get to throw harder. You get put in matchups that really benefit you, right? The manager's going to put you in the best spot possible. So I don't even think this 28% K rate is something I'm going to buy too heavily into, and maybe I'll expect the 20% to be more of the baseline of what Jacob Junis is and should do. I don't want to play Junis. And Zach Plesac, not somebody I'm running to play either. Just no strikeout potential here. I think on a 14-game slate, just give me the strikeout, guys. If I lose out because Plesac went 8 innings, 4 strikeouts, something like that, then it is what it is. I think I'm going to focus on the K, guys. Lorenzo, so you need to petition something? No, I mean, it's not like I moved in and then they built a train track, right? Train tracks are... I don't think, are they still making train tracks? I feel like we're just like we got what we got. So it was there. I wasn't super cognitive of how there it was. But what are you gonna do? Matt, what's up, Matt? A train goes by the back of my house too, only about 2 or 3 times a day. That's a little bit better. One day I need to time it, but it feels like at least once an hour, maybe two times an hour. We get them. What are you gonna do? I go for Gesicki. He's still going late. Are you talking about the tight end, Mike Gesicki? What is the context of that? Did I miss some tight end talk? Who's the best player to play nightly that's not a home run hitter? Man, that's not a home run hitter. So for me, it would be guys like Trey Turner, Starling Marte, right? High OPP guys with aggressive base running and good bats behind him to drive in. Judge has been a guy too that I don't hate. He's batting over 290. Has a couple of stolen bases since the All-Star break. So just guys like that. Really focus on high OBP guys. A couple of hit for averages guys. Maybe Michael Brantley, somebody like that, right? Free transportation. I don't think they're definitely not human trains. Like, I don't think that's a thing down here. I just think it's industrial purposes. Matchups. Let's find some homers in this game. So Salvador Perez, he hits balls far. He's got a 4.21 rating on the bomb detector. Zach Plesac has a 2.12 homer per 9 allowed to righties. Not necessarily like you don't really get that from looking at his batted ball data. 38% fly ball rate, 32% hard contact rate, 50% ground ball rate. But obviously when he is allowing balls to be hit in the air, they're jumping the fence. So Salvador Perez definitely a guy to be looking at for some power here. Anyone else sticking out on the bottom sector here? We got Jose Ramirez at 4.25. Jacob Junis has allowed a 1.89 home run per night to lefties this year, a 3 to lefties last year. The sample size on that split, I wonder what that is if he's been coming out of the bullpen. So let's spend a minute to kind of jump in that. God dang it. Yo, A. Dean is absolutely on a mission to get my YouTube channel put on a list. I'm trying to get to 6K subscribers this year. And then you go and do this. 19 innings. So he's actually got more innings against lefties than righties, does Jacob Junis this season. And in those innings, a 325 average, 4 bombs in those 19 innings. So, yeah, Jose Ramirez definitely profiles pretty well here. What's the temp out there? 81 degrees. That's fine. Bradley Zimmer, also somebody that maybe could benefit from a lower K rate to lefties that Junis does have. And then Franduel Reyes. Usually him and Jose Ramirez are my favorite handcuff from the Indians. You know, those are probably 2 guys I would get behind here. It is Kauffman Stadium, so I'm not going to get too crazy with the 5-6K players from this spot. But Junis definitely has some leaks in his game, you know. I can't with you. I just got a closed chat at this point, like, right? You guys are gonna see like the reflection of the words in my eyes, and the bot is gonna seek it out and be like, nope. White Sox hosting the Pirates. Bryce Wilson taking on Lucas Giolito. Pirates have a 3.1 implied run total. The White Sox 6. The White Sox are a staggering, massive -340 favorite. That's amongst one of the largest numbers I can recall seeing all year. Bryce Wilson, not good. 314 average allowed to righties, 275 to lefties, a 191 home run per 9 to lefties, just a 12% K rate. This is a more righty talented lineup, the White Sox are, but there's just really no flaws overall. And I would be heavily invested in the White Sox attack here. The Pirates bullpen doesn't really scare me. And Bryce Wilson is definitely a bad pitcher. And if you're going to allow the White Sox to put the ball in play, I'm going to be on the White Sox pretty bullishly. And this is not one of those stacks that have a 6-run total with 6K players. You got 5,400 on Tim Anderson, 5K on Abreu. And then it's a lot of, 5Ks and below. So we've seen like Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Shohei Ohtani, guys like that get over 6K. That's not the case here for the White Sox. So they're not even like a bank-breaking stack in my estimation. So, yeah, give me the White Sox pretty liberally here. Luis Robert batting second, 4,200. I'm fine with that. Yohan Moncada, Yasmani Grandal in the mix as well. Grandal's probably a better Fanduel play in terms of value on points per dollar. 3,200 on Fanduel, 553 on DraftKings, 2K difference. But there's no pushback to any of these guys for me here. Lucas Giolito is 8,800 on DraftKings. That feels pretty soft to be one of the largest favorites on the season. So if you're looking for 20 plus, I think the Pirates offense obviously is soft enough to achieve that. This season at home, Giolito's just about averaging that, and that's about his average on the season, home and away. And he has won a game against the Pirates, just knocking on the door of 20. I think sub 9K, you can kind of live with that 20. If Giolito, we speculated, could be chalk. Like if you thought 20 was beatable somewhere else, obviously the right play is to go somewhere else to try and jump to the top of a tournament. But in terms of like cash or single entry, something like that, Giolito profile is just fine. I don't necessarily feel like I want to overthink the process here. Looking at this matchup against the Pirates, this projected lineup may not be the confirmed lineup, but we got a 28%, 24, 24, 26, 33, 38% K rates all the way through, and that's even picking up a designated hitter. There's plenty of strikeouts to be had. So there is no reason for me to suggest that Giolito is anything but a solid play here. The only pushback would potentially be ownership and then living on what he's done historically in terms of fantasy production. Kind of like what we looked at Zach Wheeler yesterday, right? Felt like he could be a good play, but for whatever reason, he just hadn't dominated the Nats. If Giolito is just a 20 DKP point guy, and you can jump him. But I like him very, very much. Let's get caught up on chat. let me get through the stuff that I can read here. Stanley says Zach Plesac like Kyle Hendricks. Never play them, but don't like to go against them. Yeah, there's a couple guys like that. Just like you guys remember Clayton Richards? I think he played for the Padres, maybe the Cubs. He was just like an unremarkable lefty. Really, really high ground ball rate. Like his point in life was to pitch the most innings in baseball, but it's just you just could like never play him. And that's kind of we've got a couple of those guys still in existence here. CEH, I'm Ohtani in the future GOAT. I never get to watch him. Yeah, he's really good. Of course, he went off of Heaney yesterday. Speaking of Ohtani, let's move on to that game. Not that game. Let's move on to the Twins game. Why is the Twins game not in? There it is. John Gant, the starter for the Twins. The Twins lineup is out. So we'll get that punched in. Luis Ariz, Byron Buxton, Jorge Polanco, Josh Donaldson, Max Kepler, Miguel Sano, Brent Rooker, Ben Rortvedt, and Andrelton Simmons. That's your confirmed Twins lineup. We don't have a confirmed Cubs lineup yet. Zach Davies taking on John Gant is our matchup. John Gant, low strikeout rates to both sides of the plate. Man, there was a hot week where I was pitching anyone against the Cubs, and then Marquez happened, and there was somebody else that got shelled by the Cubs that really, really got me into trouble. So I don't think I'm gonna be leaning on that take here. John Gant has not been a strikeout guy. Just a 9.5% swinging strike rate, just an 18% overall K rate. Not giving up a ton of barrels so far, but the walk rate's elevated to both sides of the plate. Could be an ugly spot to get to some Cubs bats, but I tell you what, Ian Happ, Patrick Wisdom, they're giving you reasons to look their way if you look at their last couple weeks. And Rafael Ortega, somebody I don't think is inherently bad. So there's a couple Cubs bats I could sprinkle in to the player pool, but nothing egregious. I don't think I get to the full stack, but like I said, I think I can allow a couple of these guys to be in the player pool. On the Twins side against Zach Davies, Davies has allowed a lot of power to righties going back to last season. 1.8 home run per nine last year, 1.69 this year. That's been more of a Wrigley Field thing. On the road, 0.6 home run per nine overall. Against Byron Buxton, against Josh Donaldson, I'm there. Buxton, for whatever reason, is just not going up. Usually, if a guy's cheaper on DraftKings than on Fanduel, he's a good value on DraftKings, and Buxton is that dude. Not quite living up to the first quarter of the season since his return, but we know it's in him, right? We know he's still on the season, a 330 hitter. He's got some power, a 1. OPS on the season. So I'm not there to give up on him. He's got 2 strikeouts in each game thus far. And we're not really looking at Zach Davis just to mow you down with the strikeout. So Buxton's probably too cheap. Why can't I quit you? I'll be right back on him. Luis Ariz, not a big power guy, but maybe a multi-hit guy spot for him. Today, 2,300 on FanDuel, stocking stuff for type of play to pair a top price pitcher with, a Vladdy Jr. type, something like that. And just Josh Donaldson, he's had a really nice swing lately. I've had an opportunity to watch a lot of Twins games as of late, and I'll pull up Josh Donaldson's card because I'm really kind of interested to see if I can aesthetically display this advanced metrically. So I think they do have month splits, but even like I watched a lot of the Twins and Red Sox series, like even his outs were just like hard hit fly balls, and his swing is looking sweet. And it seems like every time I look up lately, he's got himself another bomb. So I guess in the month of August, I guess this is a good way to do since it's the last, So in the month of August, he's got himself a 42% hard contact rate, a 50% pull rate. That's really where you get the most power. A 20% home run to fly ball rate. Obviously, you project regression on that, but 20% home run to fly ball rate, that's usually for like 10-15% fly ball. Like this guy's out here crushing it. 24% line drive rate. Like his swing is very, very nice right now. So when you put that, parlay that with the fact that Zach Davies allows power to righties, you can give me Josh Donaldson. He's under 4K on DK, 3,200 on FanDuel. I'll make it happen, Captain. And then Miguel Sano, another guy that maybe tap into that power problem to righties. So plenty of viable bats here. Twins a 5.2 implied run total. So kind of elevated for the fact that it's the Twins. So give me some Twins. And give me a couple of Cubs. I don't think I'm full stacking Cubs, but you can give me a couple of them. Keuchel was the guy. Speaking of Ohtani, let's move on to the Twins. I thought it was next. Gosh dang it, Donaldson's too cheap all season. Yeah, I mean, there's been ruts that he's been in, right? There's been parts of the season where he just hasn't been that dude. But it's just the eye test is getting backed up by the metrics here. He's got a 0% infield fly ball rate in the month of August. Versus July at 21%. The pop-ups, they're not there. He's just got a really good swing going right now. And I love it. So give me that. Let's move on to the next game. I called that. What did I call? Angels hosting the Yankees. Jameson Taillon taking Yami Barria. So the DraftKings not fixed their mess. I guess they did. I don't know. Is Ohtani touchable? Can we play him? No, they list him as a 6,800 starting pitcher. I have so many questions. You can't you can't play Shohei Ohtani. I imagine playing the Millie Maker tonight. You can't play the home run leader. I don't know. What a disaster. But Ohtani will not pitch tonight. That came out last night. And I figured they would have fixed this, but it looks like they're not. And I don't know what the cutoff is. Maybe they still can fix it. Maybe they have fixed it since I've been on the air and have it refreshed. Yeah, land against the Cubs. I also played Dallas Keuchel against the Cubs, and I probably should have never done that. But he got smacked too. So Ohtani is not pitching, right? No, I saw nobody's I'm pretty sure last night they announced he's not pitching. So we can't touch him. So the Angels stack is very, very limited from there on. Let's talk about Jameson Taillon, and let's talk about this Angels lineup. Look at these strikeouts. It's nuts. Jameson Taillon not really known for his strikeouts, but he can get them. 12% swing and strike rate on the season, 23.5% K rate. Maybe they tick up here because of this matchup. And Taillon, absolutely somebody I can put in my mix here. He's been one of the Yankees' best pitchers, really, of the season. Garrett Cole's been up and down, but Taillon has been out there giving him 5-6 innings, and he's been fighting. Last start didn't go great, but what did he get a shot at the Angels during that last series? 8 earlier. I don't know. I feel like I'm more interested in Jameson Taillon than his results lately. But at 7,300, that gives me a little bit of a softer landing here. I do think 20 plus DKP is a reasonable range of outcome if this Angels lineup looks anything like the projected lineup, because these strikeouts are just ridiculous. So yeah, 7,300 I think is a little too soft for Taillon. So give me some Jameson Taillon. Yami Barria I got right now as the starter for the Angels. I don't know if we can corroborate that. Yesterday I kind of skimped over the Yankees research because we really didn't know. Why did I type in Angels? Because we really didn't know who the starting pitcher for the Angels was. Yeah, they got him listed as probable. Okay, so as long as we have that, that's more than we had yesterday. So he's not a deep inning guy anyway, but you can probably project him for 3-4 innings if he's doing his thing. He gives up a lot of average to both sides of the plate, 282 to righties, 294 to lefties. More power to lefties than righties, but he still gives up power to righties. 41.7% hard contact rate to righties this season. Elevated line drive rates. The Yankees are the Yankees. Even though they lost yesterday, they still put up 7 runs, right? And the bats were there. And that if you guys watched I retweeted a video. I've never seen, and I watched a lot of Yankees games. I've never seen a stadium be so Yankee centric. I thought I was watching a game in Yankee Stadium. That crowd was full on Yankee Stadium West. So it added extra energy for the Yankees there. So I expect more of that today. Just a little extra buzz, a little extra encouragement there. We know Aaron Judge, hometown boy. So give me some Yankee stacks here. They have a 5.6 implied run total. That's one of the largest on the entire slate. And Yami Barria is going to be backed up by a lackluster bullpen. So should be quality at bats through and through. And then like yesterday, what are these prices, right? Aaron Judge 5.5K, everyone else under 5K. Giancarlo Stanton's 4,800. Yeah, that's a little bit better than what he has been, but he's one of the hottest hitters in baseball, just absolutely tearing the cover off the ball. Anthony Rizzo's under 4K. Maybe he's a little bit sluggish. DJ LeMahieu's a little bit sluggish, but these prices, the opportunity is kind of too low. So this is a high-octane offense with a lot of run potential, a lot of power, and the prices are cheap enough that you can still get away with two upper echelon price pitchers too. So Yankee Stack will probably by proxy be one of the highest owned stacks because of the pricing. But I mean, they're in a good spot. So I'm there on the Yankees here, and maybe we get a look at that goal line jumbo package as a sense of urgency, right? They've lost 3 in a row. They're starting to get to 6-7 games behind the Rays. So maybe Aaron Boone says we can't lose another one. And you see Giancarlo Stanton in the outfield, Judge, Gallo, Luke Voit is your DH. That's what I would do personally. But yeah, let's get caught up on chat. It's Anaheim. What did you expect? I don't feel like I've watched Yankee games in Anaheim before. I just don't feel like yeah, Yankees fans travel, but it was thick yesterday. Yeah, bro, Tyon Statmuse versus the Angels is horrific. I mean, can we really go off of this? Like, the Angels are not the Angels, really, of even the beginning of the season, right? Rendon, Mike Trout. This is a bad team. I like if just for the sake of it, versus Angels. Let's go last 5 games, just for the sake of it, sure. But the first half of the season, Tyon, he was still trying to build up his strength, and then I only have 1 game. And then anything before this year is just not there. 5 innings earlier this season, 4 strikeouts, 3 homers. Was 2 of them against Ohtani. Let me pull up the player stats for this game. Fletcher, Ohtani, Walsh, Iglesias. Oh, wait, this ain't the lineup. What the heck? I don't want to be results oriented on a 1-game sample, but let's pull up the box score. Player stats: Angels, Fletcher, Ohtani, Rendon, Walsh. The 1 through 4 is already kind of tough. The bottom lineup does fall off a cliff. I get what you're saying, but the opportunity is too good here. I just think it's too soft. Like, even if he gives up 3 earnings, I'd take 5 innings, maybe 6 innings, getting through this lineup. The strikeout rates are just too nuts for me to not tap into it. I'm not saying Tyon and Cash or anything like that, but if this is the lineup we get from the Angels, you're not going to have a higher cumulative strikeout rate than this lineup. Like, this is ridiculous. So and we'll even look at the K factor, and this might be an opportunity to maybe look at PrizePicks, right? Jameson Tyon, last couple games, I feel confident like giving him 90 pitches, 78, 81, 90. So 80 to 90. So let's look at the K Factory. And the K Factory it takes your strikeout averages, the swinging strike rates, pitches per out, considers all that information, mathematical algorithm. And if I give him 80 pitches, I get 6.36 strikeouts. If I give him 90, I get 7 strikeouts. He's just barely on the north side of 7K. So let's go check PrizePicks. By the way, PrizePicks.com. Sign up, use code GUNDACKER, and get up to $100. Double your first deposit, meaning if you sign up, you drop $100, that gets you $200. If you sign up, you drop $20, they give you $40. And they show me love. So show me love by showing them love, and it's just a love fest. By the way, they also have the NFL Week 1 or some NFL Week 1 projections up if you guys haven't seen that. But let's go look at Tyon's number here. A very handsome man. I feel like that's a Damron Burner account. Blink twice if it is. Single stat fantasy score. There we go. Single stat DFS strikeout props. So let's go to Tyon, right? That's what we're looking for. They did so he's at 5.5. So my numbers gave me 6 and 7. So I'd probably be interested in the over there. But still, what I'm saying is, like, this is a very strikeout prone lineup, and you're just not going to get a higher strikeout rate than this lineup. Now, they could throw us a wrench here, and it's not this lineup. I don't know, like a Suzuki or something, but it is what it is. It's ugly out here. I'm near Anaheim, light drizzle, foggy weather. Really? I appreciate that, Anton. Has any DFS weatherman alerted us? Because that game is not for like 6 more hours, right? Things could happen 5 hours maybe. Tyon numbers on the road isn't like his home splits. True. I'm not saying Tyon's a lock, right? Tyon definitely has cause for concern, but I can't avoid this matchup. Maybe like if some of you guys are only running 1, 3 lineups, 10 lineups, something like that, I get it. But my goodness, this matchup has a ton of strikeouts in it, so I can't avoid it. But I get to say that from the luxury of like 50, 100 lineups. You know what I'm saying? Like it's something I understand. It is a little stressful pre-flop. Herrera's out too. Oh, that Phillies lineup came out. All right, we'll go back and check it out. But we'll move forward first. Padres at the D-backs. Padres did their thing last night. As expected, Blake Snell on the bump taking on Zach Gallen. No confirmed lineups for this one yet. Blake Snell 7,700 on DraftKings. Zach Gallen 7,600. The D-backs have a 3.6 implied run total. The Padres 4.5. So I've seen a couple of you guys mention Blake Snell so far. I definitely don't hate the price on Blake Snell, and he's looked sharper as a whole. If you look at his last 10 games, maybe 5 games, 33, 20, 14, 42. Does feel like we're getting a little bit of value at this price point. Not sure why he's still in the 7K range with this type of success recently. He went to 122 pitches against the Dodgers. I mean, that's incredible. I don't think we've ever seen Blake Snell have this. I don't want to say this and it not be true, but has Blake Snell ever thrown 100 pitches in a 4 or 5 game stretch? I feel like I can't ever remember that. So that's huge. And you give a guy like Blake Snell, who does have incredible strikeout potential, that many bullets to fire off. I mean, that's huge. The D-backs lineup, if it comes out like this projected lineup, they're a little bit more scrappy than we want them to be, right? A bunch of sub 20% K rate guys. But maybe that'll help Blake Snell get deeper into games if they're not working them full counts. Blake Snell does have a problem with walking righties, a 14% walk rate so far this season. Maybe that's chopped down a little bit lately. 2 walks, 2, 3, 3. Yeah, so the walks are still prevalent, but against the Dodgers, he was just pitching his butt off. I don't know. Maybe this is not as good of a spot as we want it to be, but a 7,700. The landing is soft. If even if we did just get 14 to 16, you feel like that's the bottom end here. But D-backs are probably a team that profile a little bit better against lefties than righties. Nick Ahmed, Ketel Marte, Carson Kelly, all guys that bat pretty well against lefties for average, pretty well against lefties for power. A lot of high OPSs there in that 3-man stretch. So I would understand if Blake Snell doesn't have his best game here, but the 7,700 price tag does make me a little bit more enamored with going to him, especially looking at how many pitches he's been able to get to as of late. So yeah, give me some Blake Snell. I'm curious to see how high or how confident you guys are on Snell, and I'm also very curious to see what this D-backs lineup actually ends up being. We thought the same with Marquez last night, and he got shelled. I mean, we don't want to get stuck on this happened here, because we can always point out like Marquez gets shelled by the Rangers or Lance Lynn gets shelled by the Cubs, but then like Brad Keller throws a gem, or you know what I'm saying? Like it's not always 1-to-1. Ketel Marte's the best player in baseball. He's pretty good. I was kind of surprised he didn't get moved at the deadline, but I guess his injury kind of held people back. It's crunch time. You better throw 100 if they want to win that pennant. You better throw 100 if they want to make the playoffs, because the Giants and the Dodgers are making it really, really hard for that to happen. And I do believe, last time I looked, I think the Reds were higher than the Padres in that wild card spot. So it's very, very possible that the Padres don't even make the playoffs. Zach Gallen, 7,600. He's got better splits to righties than lefties, but he's not bad against lefties. 30% K rate to righties, 25% K rate to lefties. He might be a better play than we perceive him to be, just because we got respect for the Padres. But how many of you guys are running to stack the Padres? There's not a right or wrong answer there. I'm just actually curious to see how many of you guys might run back the Padres after last night. Still going to be more of a pitcher's park. And the last couple games for Gallen have been pretty solid. 24-31 at Coors, at Philly. At home this season, he's averaging 14 DKP 5. He's got 9 innings against the Padres, 6 earnings. So his numbers against the Padres not great. I don't think I'm going to play him. But like I said, are we running to pick on him? He doesn't really have... I guess the power to righties is a problem. 2.34 homer per 9 to righties, 44% hard contact rate, extremely high fly ball rate. That's got to look good in a bomb detector for somebody. Tatis at 4.28. Is that the highest in the bomb detector? It's not the highest, but it's up there. Judge is a little bit higher. But he probably gets more implied at-bats against Gallen, more than likely. So, yeah, Tatis right there in the mix of it. 6,200. You got to go up there and get him. But makes sense. Earth to Air says Snell 75% in my lineups. That's cool. I don't disagree. I'm not there, but yeah, that's where everyone has their own fingerprints. 7,700 gives you some upside to have, Doyer's taking the West. What up, Gus? Dodgers taking the West. Them Giants are a problem, ain't they? All right, let's move on to the next game. Giants, the aforementioned Giants hosting the Brewers. Brandon Woodruff against, I don't know, dude. It's like these chicks don't even know the name of my brand. Johnny Cueto didn't make the start last night. COVID speculations. Turned out to be flu-like symptoms, and he popped negative. But I said if he felt good, he could pitch today. That seems crazy. like I would just feel like you skip a start there. But it could be Johnny Cueto, and it could not be Johnny Cueto. If you guys saw anything about who is pitching for the Giants, I feel like the plan right now is to see if Cueto can go, and if he can't go, then you figure it out. Which sucks for us to analyze. But I guess at the same time, it's Oracle Park, and there's probably no pitcher that projects to really give up a couple touchdowns. So whatever. Brandon Woodruff, I think, is the stronger talking point here. I have a poll going in the chat right now. Where are we at? We got 43 votes. I asked who's your favorite pitcher for DFS today. 26% of you guys say other, so I'm assuming a lot of that is representative of Blake Snell. 47% Lucas Giolito. 14% say Brandon Woodruff. And Woodruff at 9,400. It's one of the tougher matchups in the league, the most wins in baseball here. But he does have strikeout propensity, a 3.28 Sierra on the year, almost a 30% K rate, 17% called strike rate, and he keeps the ball in the park and the barrel rate's low. So if that is a quasi indication of where the field might be out, could Woodruff be an elite tournament play tonight in a plus park with some success? I think Corbin Burns last night, right, got to 30. So could we get 30 out of Brandon Woodruff? Definitely a high range of outcome pitcher, especially if you let the game log tell the story. But in terms of ownerships and leverage points for tonight, yeah, it might be an opportunity on Woodruff. And if you're a person running 100, 150, maybe 15 to 20% gets you enough leverage, enough enough opportunity to tap into his potential upside if the higher owned guy, the higher end guys, even just scored less than him, no matter what that would mean, whether it be 20 versus 25, something like that. Those points add up. So I'm curious to see where Woodruff does end up falling as a ownership play at 9,400. This Giants lineup, there's no two ways to cut it. It's a strong lineup. They hit for great average, and there's not a ton of strikeouts. A lot of closer to 20%ers than 25%ers, but there's still strikeouts. And Brandon Woodruff, being an elite strikeout pitcher, you can kind of move the needle and tweak the projection just a little bit to go his way. So not a smash play by any stretch of the imagination, but opportunity is there for him to be a good ownership pivot. God dang it, A. Dean, man. Oh. I'm like 90% sure the Wally account is Damron trolling. That's why I haven't banned it yet. If it wasn't like, trolls usually say some crazy stuff, but yeah. You should make a new poll and include Snell. Snell should be in the poll, true. So as far as I know, the poll only allows four things to vote on. So, but I guess it's good to know that you guys are more on Giolito than Bueller and Woodruff, and I think Bueller is a great talking point that we will get to because he is in a stretch right now. But before we do that, take a pause for the cause and remind you guys that if you guys want access to the RunDFS.com VIP spreadsheet, you can go to RunDFS.com, get yourself signed up for a VIP pass. Week pass, this is the last day. This is the last day for the $20 week pass. And tomorrow, the NFL season is pretty much upon us for the calendar year, and we convert over. And I guess technically speaking, it's the last day for all those prices that are not the bulk. So the 2-week pass, the month pass is at $60. So if you really want to con the system, you should probably go get a month pass, and then you'll get a month for 40% off. Also, I am working on a new website. Hopefully, I can get it finished within a couple days. I'm gonna try and do a lot of legwork on it tonight while I'm watching the Yankee game. So we're actually changing to a whole different software. Going from vBulletin to WordPress. So if you do come back in 2 days and it says you don't have an account, you just have to re-register and we'll get that all sorted out. But when you sign up today, go to the VIP threads, click the onboarding thread. There's a link to the spreadsheet and a link to the Discord. Discord looks something like this. Real quick, let me show it before Adine posts his freaking LeBron picture. Looks something like this. In that Discord will be in the RunDFS.com MLB voice chat before lock. So if you guys want to hang out, make some new friends in the DFS space, that is all there for you. And then of course NFL content is coming. So go get signed up, show some love, get some of my tools in return, and then it is football season, and I'm excited. Mariners hosting the Astros. Next game on the docket, Lance McCullers Jr. taking on Yusei Kikuchi. I say Kakachi, that's just how it is. 3.6 is your implied run total for the Mariners. 4.5 for the Astros. Are we about to beat a dead drum here? Beat a dead drum? Beat a dead horse? Beat a drum with a dead horse? There's a lot of weird stuff coming out of my mouth right now. Astros have a lineup that is built to really give lefties problems. A lot of power in this lineup as well. And I feel like we say this every day. Astros probably project pretty low owned, and they have as much upside as any team on the slate. Kikuchi does have some power problems to righties, a 183 home run per 9, to righties, a 132 to lefties. High K rates. He hasn't been going deep into games, and this is definitely not a spot where I want to play Kikuchi, but I think we have to meditate on whether or not we are giving the Astros another chance. A typical slot machine scenario for the Astros. Against the Astros in Houston, Minute Maid Park, 7 hits in 2.2 innings, 3 bombs allowed, and yeah, they got to him. So I'm fine with the Astros stack today. I do think the pushback on the Astros is the collective pricing. 61 on Altuve, 54 on Gurriel, 59 on Alvarez, 5K on Correa, 5-1 on Bregman. It probably is the most expensive stack on the slate. Probably. I guess the Dodgers and the Blue Jays might be close, but yeah, they'll cost you. So I'm in on the Astros, but I wonder how funky those lineups look and if they could include high-end pitching. McCullers is 10.1K on the road this season. McCullers has been all right, 32% K rate, 3.19 xFIP, 0.61 home run per 9, elevated ground ball rate. At 10.1K, however, we've already identified and discussed plenty of pitchers that are cheaper. For him to be the SP2 price-wise, he has a high responsibility, and that's a tall glass of water to sip on, right? So far on the road this season, he's averaging 22 DKP. He's got 2 games started against the Mariners, averaging about 15. He did drop 25 at home against them, so I'm guessing he got shelled in the other one. So yeah, if 25 plus is in the range of outcomes for you, go for it. If you guys haven't paid attention to McCullers this year versus years past, he's definitely changed up his pitch mix quite a bit. Used to be a predominant curveball thrower, and now he's got fastball, slider, curveball, changeup. So he's got you a deeper mix of pitches to keep you guessing. He's in my pool, but I don't think I have him as a tier 1. I don't even think I get him to a tier 2 yet. I might try to, based on what this Mariners lineup does come out being. Because this lineup could be half and half. A couple of contact guys, J.P. Crawford, Seager, Ty France, Toro, and then a lot of 25-30% K rate. So, this might be a spot where he struggles the first inning or two in terms of strikeouts, and then he gets into a lane. So I do like the thought of McCullers, but I do think that the price of McCullers makes him kind of lost in the sauce up there. And I definitely think he would be one of the least picked names out of the Giolitos, the Woodruffs, the Snells, guys like that. But I'm there on him. I just don't know how many lineups I need to get him into the mix. Kikuchi, no thank you. Astros, yes. If I wanted to pick on McCullers, there's really not an isolated split that I think we could project for weakness, right? Not really a lot of power to be had. I guess the walk rates is up there against both sides of the plate. Create some traffic, and then a big blow, a 2 RBI single, something like that. Then you get into that bullpen, but that's just over exerting speculation, right? Let's get caught up on the live chat before we move on to the next one. Astros will either score 11 runs or like 1 to 2, but it seems like there's no in between. They're really not. A true ace for same short type play. Yeah, James. What up, James? We got one game left on the docket. After this, we'll go back and maybe update some lineups and review some spins. Where are we at on the live views? We're at 64, 60, 40. I can't tell. Yesterday we broke a record. It doesn't look like we're gonna break the record today, but we've broken the concurrent view record 3 times in the last 2 weeks, and that's love. So I do appreciate that. Braves at the Dodgers. Charlie Morton taking on Walker Buehler. The Braves have a 3.2 implied run total. The Dodgers 4.4. Charlie Morton 8,900. Walker Buehler 10.5K. So it sounds like the average Joe will be on Giolito. You guys weren't really there on Woodruff. But man, Walker Buehler is in one of those incredible stretches that we see him do. And this is one of those stretches where every year he becomes, a dark horse before the season for like Cy Young. Like he's in one of those stretches right now. Look at these results: 28, 29, 29, 26, 32, 28, 28. And in strength of schedule, yeah, there's a couple softies at Miami. Coors is on the mix. 2 games against the Giants, right? Number 1 team in baseball. The Astros kind of got to him. And then, yeah, Mets and Angels. You could argue that the strength of schedule has been more favorable than not. But the stuff is there. 6-7 innings strong out of him. 100-plus bullets in his chamber. It's one of those spots where I got to ask, are you stacking Braves? If the answer is no, it's because, Walker Buehler's good. Well, are you playing Walker Buehler? If the answer is no, it's because the Braves are good. Well, something's got to give. So I'm willing to be more on the Walker Buehler side today than the Braves side. Yesterday, I was on the Braves against a lefty, Urias. And Urias actually ended up having a solid day. For what it's worth, the Braves against righties still have strikeout potential, right? 27% on Soler, 26 on Austin. I hate Austin. 25 on Swanson, 24 on Darno. Duvall's a 30%er, and the pitcher spot. Like, there's still strikeouts to be had in this lineup. Yeah, you got to get around a couple of boppers, but the range of outcomes for Walker Buehler to be a top 2 scorer on this slate are still pretty high in my opinion. So I'm there on Buehler at 10.5. You got to go up there and get him at that price point, but we shouldn't just ignore what he's been doing. He's been really doggone good. A 2.91 expected ERA, 0.92 WHIP, 27% K rate overall. Like, all these numbers are incredible, and they're coming with big sample size. So give me Walker Buehler tonight to maybe be one of my late night hams. Charlie Morton probably not getting there today. 8,900. I wouldn't fault you if you did to diversify your pitching pool, right? It's just one of those spots where I don't know if I can help it. I'm probably not gonna tempt fate with the Dodgers unless they put out like a Sunday special lineup. But even their Sunday lineup is better than most teams' average lineup. But I guess at 8,900, if you're looking for 20 plus, yeah, sure. He got 17 in 5 innings against them in his only start this season. He does have strikeout potential, 7+ strikeouts in 4 games straight. Yeah, that's pretty solid. 2 of those games against the Nats, 1 against the Marlins, and then the Yankees, who strike out with the best of them. This Dodgers lineup just doesn't have a lot of projected strikeout potential, so I'm probably going to be down on Morton. If he's the ultimate optimal play, then whatever. But Walker Buehler, I think the metrics suggest that there's still strikeouts to be had here. He's been really rock solid, and I'm there on Buehler. So in the same context of the Woodruff conversation, if everyone's on Giolito or Blake Snell, is Walker Buehler going to just fall at maybe a 10% ownership? I'm just thinking out loud. I haven't looked at ownerships. But I could see the Braves offense, kind of scaring some people away. I'm there on Walker Buehler, right? Cards, Reds postponed. Okay. Wasn't on the main, but yeah, good information. Appreciate that, Josh. Best Austin versus McMahon match for you, was it when the Giants debuted in WWE, came through the cage? What's the pay-per-view where the stage was just ladders? They had like a ladder match. I don't know if it was a handicap ladder match, but it might have been Shane and Vince versus Stone Cold. But it was like a ladder-based match. I can't think of what the paper. Maybe it was King of the Ring. Maybe, I don't know. Getting married next Friday. Wish you and the missus could be there. Always kept it real, never bigger than the moment. Appreciate, man. That's huge, Lorenzo. Congratulations. That's awesome. Send me pictures. Are you on Twitter? Let's see some pictures, man. Congratulations. Big moment, right? You'll never forget that day for the rest of your life. So enjoy it. Soak it in. Hopefully, with the way the world is, you're able to have a lot of family there and just enjoy it. Get lost in the moment and wish it lasts forever, right? Ask the big man to slow down time that day for you. All right, let's get caught up on all the lineups. Chat, if you guys don't mind, viewers, if you don't mind, hit that thumbs up. Really, really helps me out. If you are getting out of here, I appreciate it. We'll be back at it tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. But what we're going to do in this part of the stream is go back, get some lineups updated that did come out. If you guys got any questions, comments, concerns, or anything that you're on, or maybe showed up late, drop it in chat. We'll try to knock everything out. But yeah, let's get caught up on lineups. Also, if you guys want to follow me on twitter.com/Gundacker, as long as I don't forget, I'll try and get the bomb detector screenshot up around 30 minutes before lock. And that's it. That's all the plugs, right? And then, yeah, go check out PrizePicks. Use code Gundacker when you sign up. Show me some love. And then we'll double your first deposit up to $100. Let's go get the lineups, right? Love the rest of the DFS shows, but without this show, I would have won 10K last year. You never hide the fact. Man, that's love. I appreciate that. Getting married on the beach. That's cute. Oh my god, it's so cute. Hopefully it's not windy, right? That would suck. But nah, man. So are you guys gonna go swimming, or like is a reception at the beach? I don't know, man. That sounds awesome. I have not been married yet, but it is on the agenda one of these days. I don't know where I would get married, though. I'd probably be something basic like a hall or something. Freddie Galvis leading off for the Phillies. Interesting. Gene Segura, Bryce Harper. So this lineup already looks a little bit different than what we were expecting. There is no JT Realmuto, who was somebody I would have been interested in. Ronald Torreyes, former Yankee great. Solid night last night. Matt Verling and Rafael Marcin. So, does fall off a cliff here, but Gene Segura and Andrew McCutchen still profile really, really well for me against Corbin. I don't mind getting a Harper if you wanted to get a stack going. Freddie Galvis has a lucrative opportunity in that leadoff spot to get 5-6 implied at-bats. Batting right against Corbin, go for it. But Segura and McCutchen are probably my 2 favorite individual Phillies, and McCutchen has a lot of potential value at that price point. No, don't say it, Gun. No. What beach, Lorenzo? Like what coast? Are you West Coast? I feel like you're West Coast. I'm just assuming. You know what happens when you assume. We got the Athletics and the Tigers lineups. Josh Harrison, Starling Marte, Matt Olson, Jan Gomes, Matt Chapman, He's got a fast car. And I got a ticket. Not much has changed in the Athletics lineup. So we'll stick with the original analysis. Josh Harrison, Starling Marte is a really fun handcuff. The Marte side is going to cost you, but $3,600 for Harrison, kind of like Galvis. Lucrative opportunity, a guy that does bat well against lefties. Power is not as prevalent, but a couple on base opportunities for him in front of some bigger lineups or some bigger boppers. Marriages for suckers, Virginia Beach. Okay, so you're on the East Coast. Not too bad. What is it? September? Not gonna be like 100 degrees, right? Down here, it's just balls hot, bro. We don't have a Red Sox lineup. Keep it moving. Rangers lineup did come out. So against Austin Gomber. I think I mentioned like I don't want 0% Gomber. I'm gonna have some Gomber, but not a ton. After last night. Jonah Heim in the mix. Leody Taveras. I think he got his first homer of the season last night. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then Ryan Doro. I don't know who that is. So, just out of curiosity, I can't imagine the Rangers have a lot of talent stats that they haven't called up already. But let's pull up Ryan Doro's minor league card. Let's just get it going. If the weather's bad, we'll move it inside where I'm having a reception. Bruh. Get married in the rain. Now, hopefully it's good, man. You said this weekend. I mean, I don't know where this hurricane's going, right? I feel like they usually curve to the right and head your way. So maybe, but hopefully not, right? Doro in the minors, we've got a 379 average to righties, 208 to lefties. It looks like we want him against a righty, but he's getting a lefty. Overall average is 251. Maybe he gets off on a righty reliever, but not somebody I would go out of my way to roster. Move on. Any other lineups come out? The Cubs lineup came out, huh? Going to let all of us come to the wedding. If I do get married, I guess I would have an opening invite. I feel like there'd be a lot of potential people. And I do live in a central state, but I don't have it on the calendar. But I would not mind a lot of the Run DFSers. I always plug the VIP every stream, right? But y'all gotta understand, like these people, the Run DFS Vipers, man. These guys have been repeat customers for half a decade, and it gets to a point where, like, when you're in voice chat every day with them, it doesn't feel like I'm talking to customers. It just feels like friends. If you guys, yesterday I live streamed the draft that we did. It was just like homies from all across the country just hanging. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind some of the Run DFS Vipers coming to some big events in personal life. But yeah, I guess you guys would be invited too. Some of you guys like Austin Dean, though. I don't know if I want that in my life. Anyway, that's all the confirmed lineup. So let's get the bomb detector refreshed and kind of see who's sticking out at the top. If you guys want to see where this finally ends up, you can get access to the spreadsheet through rundfs.com or follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/Gundacker. Aaron Judge, 4.32 rating on the bomb detector. That is the most on the slate. If he gets 2 at-bats against Yami Barria, hopefully he can tap into that. Fernando Tatis is up there as well. A lot of regular names up here. I think Andrew McCutchen is the cheapest name up here. I guess if we can keep salary included here. The cheapest bombs, yeah, Andrew McCutchen. Jan Gomes is up here as well. He's under 4K. He is a catcher, so maybe elevated for a catcher. 3,600 on Miguel Sano. And then 26 on Jake Myers. And Kikuchi. Yeah, Kikuchi can give it up, right? I'll bring some bang to the wedding because that is gun alcohol. You already know, bro. You already know. I wish I can get a bang sponsorship, but I guess they would lose one of their biggest customers. Is that it? Chat, you guys got anything else about this slate? If not, we'll cut it. But like I said, tonight somebody's gonna win $1 million off of baseball DFS, and that's just incredible. I mentioned it earlier, but PrizePicks has some NFL projections up. So if you guys want to start your research on that, I think NFL or football in general, the earliest projection is probably the most edge, and then as people bet it getting closer to game time, these will move up and down. But for instance, Ezekiel Elliott's listed at 71.5 rushing yards. I guess Tampa Bay is a good run defense, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. And then you can bet fantasy scores. I'm sure it's also parroting that of Fanduel. So some of these guys with a little bit more touchdown equity, maybe like a Zeke, you can sneak into a couple touchdowns and they can jump into that. So I don't know, maybe there's a correlation between some of these numbers rising between now and football day, and they have a lot of numbers for the first game. Like Dalvin Cook's at 21.5 against the Bengals. The Bengals were not anything to run from, and I do think Dalvin Cook will be a usage monster for that squad. So 21.5 does feel light, but that is also a FanDuel number, not necessarily a DraftKings number. So it is what it is, right? Black cherry vanilla all day, every day. You already know. I will be in the RunDFS.com VIP voice chat in about 25 minutes, give or take some. If you guys want to continue the conversation, go get it. It is the last day of the 40%, up to 40% off stuff at RunDFS.com. Get into that onboarding thread, get the link to the spreadsheet, then get into the voice chat, hang out with us, make some lineups, and hopefully tonight you make a little bit of scratch. And then we'll be back at it tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. And the grind don't stop, man. I love you guys. I appreciate you making part of my day, be part of your day. Good luck. God bless. And go win some money.